Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the professor.
And Mitch.
And today we're going to be talking with Wietse Wind, the founder of XRPTipBot and a pretty much amazing developer, especially in the XRP community. But before we start talking to him, let's grab that crypto news from the Crypto Gent.
Thanks, Professor. Hello, Crypto Campfire listeners, and welcome to the cryptocurrency news in a flash with the Crypto Gent. CNBC crypto analyst suggests Bitcoin price will rally higher. And closer than ever to Bitcoin ETF, says Bitwise ahead of SEC deadline. That's the cryptocurrency news in a flash with the Crypto Gent, and it's back to you, Professor.
Thanks a lot, Crypto Gent. What's going on, man? It's good to have you here on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. I know both of us, XRP was actually like the first token that we bought. Kind of hoping that we can pick your brain a little bit on a few things, have a little bit of fun at the same time, and see where this takes us. So to get started, let's kind of get an idea of what your background is. How did you get into crypto in the first place?
Well, my background is software development. So I was doing small business and corporate system integration projects, just coding and trying to keep my company afloat and get people to do what they were supposed to do and program some things. And of course, all programmers, I think all programmers around 2009, 10, 11 mostly knew at least something about Bitcoin, knew about its existence or even bought or mined a few Bitcoins. And I think they did just about that and went on with their lives. So I did the same thing, just a little bit of mining on my home computer to see what it would do, to see how fast it could go. Not that fast. It was an iMac in the living room.
Was it a colored iMac or all white?
No, it was the all white, the first Intel series.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah.
I mean, nobody was mining back then, so it went really fast. But I mean, I spent it all on access to Usenet groups, and those days. But that was 2010, 11, and I mean, I forgot about it. So I just went on with my life, coded some more, and then around 2000, somewhere in 2016, I was browsing YouTube. I watched a few talks, and then I saw in the suggestions like, "Do you want to watch this?" On the right, I saw David Schwartz, the current CTO from Ripple. Really smart guy, and I was pretty inspired by what he said about making money flow as easily as email or messages these days. And I mean, right now you can transfer money pretty fast here in the European Union. If you want to transfer money outside the European Union, it gets harder and slower. But still, indeed, I mean, email is something developers work with, right? It's a protocol you can understand. It's really easy to use it, to send an email, to receive an email, to code something with email. And I thought, yeah, why not? Why not code money, right? And that was kind of new because I knew Bitcoin was pretty slow and expensive to do transactions. And I started looking into the technology, looking into Ripple, the company, and the XRP ledger, the technology he was actually talking about. And it was an amazing experience because I believe 15 minutes after watching the video and Googling some stuff, I had my own node up and running, and I could sign a transaction locally and submit it to the network. That's crazy. And then 4 seconds later, the transaction was actually visible in the Transaction Explorer. And that's kind of inspiring, especially for a web developer. It's so easy to plug into the XRP ledger, to read transactions, to send transactions, that I thought, well, I'm gonna play around with this some more in my spare time, and I did, and then some more during work hours, and then even more time spent during work hours. And at some point in 2017, I decided that I wanted to do something new with this technology. Didn't really know what, but at least I was going to spend a lot more time on it. And that's what I did, and now I'm doing this full time.
Nice. It's we're meeting more and more people who are full time in crypto, which is it's really cool to see that. I mean, that little bump in 2017 really helped a lot of the people that have been in it for quite a while and working their butts off to have the opportunity, both time and financially, to invest in their projects that they're trying to accomplish. And it's a wonderful thing that people have been afforded that opportunity. So I can't wait to see more of that.
Yeah, definitely. I think for some developers it helped that they were really early, so they don't worry about money anymore. And for me, it really helps that I somehow picked the technology that has a company behind it that supports it a lot and tries to build the ecosystem. So definitely a big help there.
You know, there's something to be said about when you're building things. You know, it's people see what you're building as you're building it, and even yourself. You know what you're building. It's all up here in your mind, and you're putting it on keyboard, and I'm putting it on material, right? Because I'm a carpenter by trade, so I know what it's like to build something, and then when you actually have a finished product that works, the pride that you take from that, right? And that excitement that you get from actually seeing a good plan come together, or even an evolved plan, because I don't care typically how good your plan is for anything, there's always improvement along the way, right?
Yeah.
So, there's definitely something to be said about that. Now, speaking of the TipBot, I've just really been amazed at how the community, the XRP community, just tips and shares that love for XRP with everybody. I mean, like Peru, and there was a gentleman last night, doesn't even follow me, and he retweeted one of my posts or my tweets and gave me a tip, and I was just like, wow, it's crazy. So the TipBot really brings a little bit of fun and a little bit of hey, I acknowledge you, to the space, and that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, people like it a lot more than I expected when I built it, because it was just, it was my first project using the XRP ledger I decided to make public. I started somewhere halfway 2017, and I released in December 2017, not really aware about the bull run or whatever. I still don't really care, but didn't really care about that back then either. Was just busy with the technology. Still am. And I thought it was kind of fun to build it for me, right? I wanted to build this, and I wanted to build something that people could interact with in a user-friendly way, or at least in a more user-friendly way than using private keys and all kinds of scary stuff. So I built it on Reddit, and people liked it and used it a few times. But then 1 month later, I decided to build it for Twitter. And that's where it really took off. Because apparently, I didn't really know at first, but there's a big XRP community on Twitter. People are really generous. And I think people really like the fact that they can use their favorite crypto on a social network as well. It's just really easy to say, hey, thanks, here's some XRP.
The XRPTipBot is one example of some of those third-party abstractions to make the process of using it so much simpler, because there's a lot of people who aren't comfortable with the idea of actually, making your own transaction and things like that. Yeah. So just having easy ways of doing stuff is obviously, one of the first key things for mass adoption and for mass usage.
Exactly. And it's still not user-friendly enough.
Oh, no. I mean, you can always get better, right? It can always get easier, but we one step at a time, so we just keep building and building on it. And talking about the community, XRP is one of those communities that, there's two sides to every community. And there's a lot of people out there that claim they're, XRP community people and are always trashing on people, but that happens with every other community, but when you really get inside of the XRP community, you find this amazing thing. It's kind of like the Litecoin family that we've sort of found, and it kind of spreads all through crypto. You just don't see it enough. There's too much negativity. You get deeper though, and you start to see all the passion and all the caring that everybody has for each other, and it's just one big supportive thing. It's amazing.
Well, you used a word that really describes it. You said family, and I think for a lot of people, it really is a family. And if you get in there and you watch it, you see a lot of negativity. I mean, that doesn't go away. You learn to ignore it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the longer you stay around in a community like that, the more you see the people that are actually always there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the people you interact with. That's the people you follow. And that's the people that are part of, the family. It was actually really interesting to see. I didn't expect that. A few months back, I organized a meetup here in Amersfoort, the Netherlands. And
Nice.
and I announced it, and I said there's no entrance fee. You can pay for your own drinks with XRP. The first drink is on me, and everybody's welcome. And actually, a lot of people from around the world joined. It was crazy.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And it really had a family feeling where people already knew each other. They would see each other for the first time in real life, but everybody had the feeling they already knew each other.
Exactly. I mean, you build this relationship on Twitter, and you build this, friendship. And when you actually put that friendship to real life and you meet and break bread and shake hands, it just cements everything. And it's family, and it becomes that way so much so, and I mean, every family's got its bad kids, right? Every family's got the ones that we just don't associate with or talk to, but that's okay, and I think there's a lot more communities out there, like the Litecoin family, or like the Ripple community, or I should say XRP community. And then I know there's a Verge community. There's probably a community for every token out there. It's just you don't see it as much, until you start digging. And it's because we get into our own little bubbles, I think, on Twitter. And it's getting outside of those bubbles where you actually get to meet other people. And I think Telegram's a big help for that as well.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of communities there. I don't interact with communities on Telegram. I mean, it's already hard to focus at work or work/hobby. I mean, find something you love and you never have to work a day in your life again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's hard. There's a lot of, and I really want to help people as fast as possible. If there's a message like "Help me, my tip didn't went through," or "I forgot a destination tag and I couldn't top up my TipBot account," or whatever. But at the same time, I want to get things done. So it's I mean, it's impossible to join more communities.
It's got to be a really hard thing, that people don't think about very much when you have a product that's not really for profit. It's just something that's a community tool.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a positive mindset like you do, and you always want to be there to support the community and kind of help them use the tool. But your balance of time is so hard, especially when you're trying to build other tools. And I'm a developer too, so I understand totally how that process of getting into the right mindset, and then you can't come out every 5 minutes and be successful. You got to get kind of locked in and keep your head focused. At least I do. It's several hours. It's kind of hard.
It took some time to find a way to manage it. I mean, there's about 50 support requests a day, mostly tweets, sometimes emails, and I try to reply to a few of them at least once an hour, but I keep the time replying as limited as possible, like 5 minutes every hour, and then get back to what I'm doing. So it's a great. I can combine it with a coffee break or.
Can you provide me some time management lessons? Because I could really.
Yeah, right. It's crazy because we wear so many hats. If you think about it, we wear a hat as an individual, right? And then we wear a hat as a family hat with our immediate real life family. And then we might wear a father hat if we're a parent, and then, or a mother hat, and then we wear our job hat, the one we go to every day. And then we wear another hat that has to deal with whatever we're into with crypto. And that's just one hat of probably 5 or 6 different hats that you have to wear, in crypto. So that being said, the average person probably only wears 3 or 4 hats, where we're wearing the professor I know wears 10 hats. He's a designer, he's a developer, he's an IT guy, he's a family man, he's a husband, and he's a hunter, and he's a mechanic, and there's just so many things that we wear and to find time in the day for those things is just,
Yeah,
it's
it's hard.
challenging. So you learn to kind of mix them all together when you can, and
Yeah.
multitask as much as possible, but it's not easy.
Well, I cannot multitask. I ask anyone around me, my colleagues, my wife, anyone. It's impossible. So, I mean, I think what works for a person is it differs. For me, it's trying to do one thing and then actively switch to something else and go back to one thing, and lower my expectations of what I can do that day or that hour or whatever. I think that was the hardest part, especially when I became a dad 9 months ago, where I would plan on what I would get done or wanted to get done that day, and I would fail every day or every hour. So just lower your expectations. I mean, I have long-term goals and medium-term goals and goals for like a month or whatever, but that's about it. And then I'll see what I can do that month.
Just make a big list, and as you get stuff done, just check it off.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I learned to do. You're right about the expectation thing.
Get like a 20-page to-do list and hope for the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it only
right.
gets longer, right, throughout life.
Yeah, well, you're starting to feel the dad thing. I understand that your daughter took over your computer yesterday for Lion King.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's one of those
loved
things. I got 3 kids too. It's like they're always looking for your stuff, and they always want to play on your computer, and it's totally cool and it's totally fun. You can find something else to do, but yeah, sometimes you can't accomplish the work when you really want to. It makes it worth it. I mean, it's a special thing. Yeah. Congratulations on your daughter, man. So
yes, congratulations on that.
There was one thing I wanted to ask you about. So the XRP Community Fund, I understand it became an official foundation just recently in the Netherlands.
It did.
How does that benefit the XRP Community Fund? And also for the people that don't understand or know what that is, can you give just kind of a brief idea of how it operates?
Of course. Let's start at the beginning. I don't know if you are, or any one of the listeners, so I'll explain a bit more. There's a awesome feature of the XRP ledger, and it's called partial payments. I mean, the XRP ledger allows you to issue tokens, other non-XRP currencies, and transact them and exchange them on the XRP ledger. And you can, just like a regular exchange, you can send offers to the XRP ledger. So let's say someone issues dollars or euros or whatever. You can say, I want to offer this amount of XRP for that amount of those issued dollars, and the other way around. So it's really a decentralized exchange on ledger. But if there are offers on the XRP ledger, you can also send those currencies, those issued currencies, IOUs they are called, as a payment, where the offer would be consumed when you send it. So let's say I own USD issued by, let's say, Bitstamp. Bitstamp, the exchange, issues USDs on the XRP ledger. Let's say I have a few USDs on my account, and I'm going to pay for my beer, and you say I want to receive XRP, not USD, issued by Bitstamp, because I'm not a Bitstamp customer. Then I can still send my USDs, and you will receive the appropriate amount of XRPs, because this one transaction actually sells the USD you sent to someone that put an offer on the XRP ledger to exchange it for XRP, and you will end up with the XRP your account. And it can do this cross currency, so that's really awesome. But you don't per se know what the price on the decentralized exchange is. So you say, I just want to spend 3 USD, and we'll see what amount of XRP comes out, right? Or you can say, I want to send you 10 XRP. Let's see how much USD that consumes. Well, there's it's called a partial payment, where it says I want to spend an amount and let's see what comes out. The thing is, if exchanges do bad programming, a bad implementation in their exchange software, they will look in transactions for the instructed amount, not for the actual delivered amount. So I can compose a transaction where I say, I want to send you 1,000 XRP by spending a maximum of $1 cent. So what will happen? The XRP ledger will automatically say, hey, okay, you want to spend $1 I will never be able to fulfill this transaction to 1,000 XRP, but you instructed me to do a partial payment, so I will limit the amount of XRP to the USD amount you wanted to spend, which is, well, less than 0.1 XRP. I mean, depends on the exchange rate, of course. Now, if an exchange checks the transactions on the XRP ledger for the instructed amount, the 1,000 XRP, which is completely fake, instead of checking the outcome, then they're kind of screwed, because they would credit the recipient on their exchange 1,000 XRP because they saw the transaction come in on the ledger, while in fact only point whatever XRP, not even 1 XRP, was credited to their hot wallet. So there's a big fat warning in the implementation documentation by Ripple, and all the developers I know about this. I mean, you gotta do your implementation right, and it's really easy to test. There's code snippets online. There's people in the community offering exchanges help to test it when they launch, but some exchanges are, well, not testing or completely unaware and didn't read the manual, etc., etc. So at some point, many people of the XRP community decided to find all the exchanges that list XRP, send one of these partial payment transactions, and check the amount of XRP that was credited to their account. And if it was wrong, they would reach out to people from that exchange, support staff, if they could find it on LinkedIn or whatever, the CEO, CTO, everybody. And they would warn them, like, please fix this right now, because you will be screwed at some point if someone wants to abuse this feature. And a lot of exchanges, we tested almost 100 exchanges, and about half of them was vulnerable. So that was quite a shock, but they all fixed it in time. And most of these exchanges decided to reward us with some XRP as a thank you for like not abusing this and telling us. So we ended up with a account full of bounties. And I mean, we didn't want to use that for ourselves. How would we divide it? And I mean, we just wanted to help out. So we decided to, well, call the wallet the XRP Community Fund wallet, and then we would see what would come up to use these funds. But I mean, things are getting regulated, and it's getting really hard to, well, to say, this is not my XRP, right? I mean, I created the account, someone else deposited into the account, another person. So we decided that one, we want to like be compliant, and two, there's a lot of developers still working in their spare time on projects that might be able to do more if they would be funded, not a big amount, but at least get some funding to spend some more hours, spend some more time, right. Pay for hosting, pay for a domain name, stuff like that. So we decided to really start a foundation, and of course it would be here in the Netherlands because we know how the law works here. We know how to start a foundation. I have an accountant for my business, and he would be able to take care of the tax filings for the foundation. So it's just easier, and make it official, and then come up with some guidelines and rules on projects that we want to fund. We don't want to fund businesses. We don't want to fund companies. We want to fund spare time developers, right? And we'll sponsor them to build cool stuff that actually helps the community or helps to use XRP as a payment method.
That's so cool to hear that. I mean, like, it's so hard to get funding as a developer in general. I mean, and you only have so many hours in the day, and sometimes you have these great ideas and you want to implement them, but sometimes it's more than a one-man job. So it's really cool to see you out there working to build some sort of a fund that can help these type of projects or individuals who are trying to pursue these things. Hats off to you for that, man. That's really cool.
Thanks. Still, I mean, we're still working on the guidelines or rules. That's pretty hard because we don't want to come up with a set of rules and then say no to the next person because we want to change the rules, right? And we definitely don't want the community fund XRP to go to companies. But there's a lot of gray areas in things that might be fun but don't match the rules, or things that are actually completely following the rules but not something we would want to sponsor. So, I mean, that's the hard part.
So
I imagine.
As we flip this technical switch, how long have you been playing guitar?
Oh, yeah, really long, but define playing. I mean,
what is your favorite genre of music to play? Are you into classical? Are you into acoustical guitar, electric guitar?
Well, I used to play a lot of like the Doors, Jimi Hendrix, stuff like that on a Gibson Les Paul or a Fender Strat.
So you're going to give us a Little Wing solo, right, on your Strat?
Yeah, I really love that.
Maybe
song.
some Yngwie, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't want to disturb the neighbors. And,
right.
My long hairs are gone, so I.
That's all right. They're still there in theory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so if I play right now, it's acoustic finger picking, like the Dust in the Wind or Blackbird or stuff like that. Beatles. Yeah.
Little Beatles, little Kansas.
Yeah, or some jazzy stuff.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Do you sing along with it, or you just strictly play?
Well, I'm still afraid my daughter will cry if I do.
Oh, whatever. She's probably your best. She's your best.
Now sometimes, but that's
observer. I'm sure.
It's only for her and mine ears.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I seen that you like to play guitar, and I really wanted to touch on that because, as much as we are into this space and as much as we adore what we do when it comes to the technology and the crypto space, and the projects that we get involved with, I think the Campfire doesn't want to lose sight of the people, right? The people behind it. And this, we always start out talking about what project we're in and all that stuff, but then we like to turn the table and talk about the person, because it's important, I think, no matter what, no matter who you are, to have that real side view of who that person is, not just what they've accomplished or so on. So definitely.
So speaking of that, Dino tore your keyboard apart.
Damn parrots.
Yeah, well, you found a picture of the keyboard torn apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, it's not Dino. It's a Lovebird I used to have. He wrecked like 4 or 5 wireless Apple keyboards.
Wow.
In his life. Yeah.
He must have came from Microsoft then, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I used to turn the keyboard around, but every time I forgot it, I mean, he would find it and rip off.
Oh, look at these.
I'm still really happy at where he only touched wireless keyboards and not the laptop, because those are really difficult to replace.
It's much more difficult to replace the keyboard on a MacBook than it is just buying another $79 Apple wireless keyboard.
At some point I thought, let's go back to a big fat mechanical keyboard and see if he can get them off.
Yeah, the tall cap keys, and they're a little more tricky to get off, and maybe you can't quite get a hold of it. What else did he destroy?
Well, anything in the living room you would not watch for a minute. So remote controls, a few remote controls definitely, and pieces of paper, text filings, whatever cardboard or paper you would have laying around. Yeah,
just nothing was safe.
Nothing was safe.
So I hear you're into vegetation sculpting, like in your backyard when you carve the XRP symbol in there.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Vegetation sculpting. I like that.
That was a joke. Well, I love to work in the garden, but I don't do it that often. I mean, I had to make some choices, and gardening
balance.
It's really low on the list, but maybe I don't know, a lot of years from now, if I retire, I would move up the country and buy a little farm and do some gardening and stuff like that.
I think we're programmed when we're younger, like you're young, you look like you're in your early 30s, maybe late 20s. And when we're in our younger years, I think we focus on the building of our life, right? And then as you feel accomplished and as you get more secure in where you're at in life, the later years, it tends to be more about, what can I do to enjoy my time?
Mm-hmm.
And, even though we enjoy what we build, we don't really enjoy the beautiful things in life as much as we probably should. So, when you can take that time and go out there and cut that XRP symbol in your lawn, that it was fun for you. And I'm sure it was a release of some kind of energy, and you felt good about it when you were done. It was like that just blowing off steam type of thing,
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, as far as gardening goes, maybe you should find a way to hook that into the XRP ledger.
Well, the smallest amount of XRP, it has 6 decimals, is called a drop.
Mm-hmm.
I would think.
I see where you're going with this.
Like hook up irrigation system to the XRP ledger.
Yeah, and you get to choose how many drops of water you water with, and of course you could build some controls in so people didn't get
kind of sounds
crazy,
like a faucet of some sort.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Now we got terms all coming together. Right. I would have a lot of fun. I would sit there and send XRPTipBot tips to your automated garden and all day long.
With a webcam and then some sunflower seeds and then see which one grows best.
There we go. Now we're talking. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, now expect this. You've got 3 weeks.
A nice project for next summer.
Nope, you have 3 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's almost autumn, so.
I know. Not like you're not busy enough, right? You can't just drop everything and build an automated garden overnight. That's for sure.
Well, but this is only one day of building.
I can only imagine how little time you spend on Twitter, just because of how busy you are. But if you were to find yourself spending time on Twitter, what would be, if you could only follow one account, which one would it be?
Oh, that's a really hard one. I would say David Schwartz. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good combination of intelligence and fun, a little bit of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And he likes to retweet a lot of people from the community too, so you get a little variety and
things.
Exactly. Perfect. That's a good answer. That's a perfect answer. So what's the story behind the picture of you in the spaceship sculpture? I don't know if that's a good enough description for you.
Yeah. That's actually something they built at the venue where we had the meetup.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. It's kind of fun. It's like just outside of the city, so you can go shopping, have a coffee, whatever, and you walk 5 minutes, and then there's this like almost like a beach. They put a lot of sand there, and they built some cabins, and they put up some chairs, and then it's a really nice place to have a drink. But they also have a lot of space to like hang out. So it was a good place for the community, and it's really close to the train station as well. So we decided it's a nice place for the meetup, and they had this thing in the back. So we thought it was fun, like spaceship, moon, stuff like that. Just make
that's perfect. It ties right into everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the moon is coming. We'll get there eventually. It may not be $589 tickets, but we'll get there.
Yeah, or not. I mean, I nobody really knows. We all think or hope, and it makes sense to assume that we will get there, but we don't know what the exchange rates would be when we're there. But maybe we don't. Who knows? But I mean, I know 2 things for sure, and that's one, we are changing things. I mean, maybe the exchange rates won't go up to the point where we think we're at the moon, but things are changing, and we're part of that. So that's the
important thing. It's not about the price, right? Like the value that we get out of this is the utility that comes from all these great projects. And I mean, it's speculative right now, but I have a feel like other than security type tokens, the speculation is going to go away eventually, and the focus is going to be on the tech.
Yeah, I do think it is a good thing that there's some speculation, because it attracts people that stay in this space as well and start developing.
Yes,
They
I mean
might
that's
be
how a lot of us
attracted.
came here, right?
Yeah, attracted because of the profits or the speculation. But as they are looking into the technology and they start working with that, they find a new reason to stay there, to stick, to build things, to enjoy it. And well, I think that's the most important way, the most important thing, the best way to turn out to spend your time, not watching charts and dreaming about a big house or a boat or a Lamborghini.
It's a lot of fun,
Right.
but yeah, no.
So tell me, sir, if you would you rather shoot spaghetti out of your fingers or sneeze meatballs?
What?
What? Again, please.
Would you rather shoot spaghetti out of your fingers or sneeze meatballs?
Definitely spaghetti shooting.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather sneeze meatballs, man. That'd be great.
No, you will smell it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I mean, they will go
I guess
bad.
not. Yeah, that'd
They
be
will
kind
go
of
bad
gross. So
inside your nose.
it was a good choice for sure.
Yeah. I don't even know where to go from there. Spaghetti fingers.
I know,
mean,
right?
like,
How do you come back from that?
that's crazy. It's like Inspector Gadget, but for the Italians, I don't know.
It was a toss up. It was a toss up asking that question, or to say, would you rather sweat melted cheese or always smell skunk?
What?
That's a hard one.
That's a terrible question. That's horrible. That's both options are awful. At least shooting spaghetti out of your fingers is exciting in a way.
At least to always smell skunk, you'd get numb to it, I guess, after a while.
Except everybody else would be running.
And people would still talk to you because you're only smelling it.
Yeah, this is true, right?
Exactly. That's true. So one thing I want to touch on is the concept of adoption and spreading the word of crypto and trying to get people in. I know that you posted on Twitter that you got your parents' shop to accept crypto, and they're kind of getting there. We focus a lot on trying to talk with businesses and show them the advantages of taking crypto for payments, and also talking to the general public and trying to get people just to set up a wallet and experience it, even if they don't get in for an investment, even if they just touch it once, just to get that seed planted. What has been the most enjoyable experience for you when trying to spread the word to people?
That's a hard one. I think it's not really answering your question, but I think the closest answer that comes to mind is at the XRP Community Meetup. I talked to the venue where we had the meetup, and I asked them, like, hey, it's going to be over 100 people from around the world. It's a crypto community. And of course they said, oh, Bitcoin. No, not Bitcoin. And I asked, like, are you okay with accepting XRP that day when people want to order drinks, food, stuff like that? And of course I had to convince them just a little bit, but they said yes. And that day, over 100 people there paid for all their drinks and their food with XRP. And the owner of the venue accepted XRP as a method of payment. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. And I mean, I think that's exactly what I was asking for. So I think, I don't think you were off track there at all. It was, you went out and you found a business that didn't previously accept crypto. You got them into it. You got them to use it. You had active members actually using XRP. I mean, that's exciting. That's like, kind of like when Mitch and J-Mac went to the session room, or at the New Jersey meetup, when you got the bar out there where Johnny Litecoin got the bar out there to accept Litecoin for the meetup. I mean, that's exciting, and it's really cool, especially when you get to do it with.
Well, they actually took XRP too.
Oh,
not
really?
Just Litecoin. They took XRP, DigiByte, and Litecoin. Yeah.
That's
there was
awesome.
A lot of XRP community people there. It was cool.
Yeah, I believe
that's
120. Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice turnout, man. Congratulations too. I mean, like, it's I would imagine it's not easy to start up a meetup and actually have that much of a response. So it really shows that. I mean, I think you've got a pretty good reputation in the crypto space as being somebody who really cares about the community and is really passionate about building projects that are focused on the users and people, and not about just trying to make a bunch of money. So it goes to show that you're doing something right.
Thanks. Well, I thought about that. Like if you would organize the same meetup, but from an investor's perspective, nobody would show up because they would spend money instead of invest money.
Right. Exactly. It's about the family, right?
Well,
Right back to family again, man.
It is, and it's about. I can't imagine, and I can't believe actually how much. I forget what the word's called. Not humanitarian, but philanthropy. Yeah. Flies through crypto, I guess. Yeah. Hopefully that's the right word. I think it is. But I mean, people genuinely want to do stuff that benefits other people, regardless of the monetary gain you receive, because it's all about what you get in return by seeing somebody smile or seeing somebody excited about using something you created. So that's another big, huge thing that I really enjoy about the crypto space.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. If you look at the XRP community on Twitter, using the TipBot, actually the most tips are being sent to charities.
Cool. I haven't, I've seen them fly around, mostly within the community of people that I'm dealing with. I know Peru has been really a big advocate of using the TipBot. And maybe there's a lot of others, but it's just he's the one that's interacted with me the most, so that's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. And I kind of hope to keep up some contact with you in the future here. Everything's growing so fast, and I see, and you probably see so much potential yet with what you can create to become of really strong, valid use in this space. I look forward to seeing more from you.
Well, I hope you will see some more. I mean, the hard part right now is not the development; it's not the adoption. I mean, if you look at the XRP community, if anyone builds something, it's really easy to get some adoption. Because there's a lot of enthusiasts coming together there in the Twitter community, but it's also really easy to get a lot of input, and that's good. If you want to build something and it should be user friendly and people should be able to use it without reading a manual, you have thousands of users that want to test it, and they will spend a lot of time giving you really good input. So that's actually easy. The hard part right now is to build something and make something user friendly, and then make sure you got all your regulation and legal stuff in order.
Right. It's that's got to be challenging for sure.
It's really challenging. I've been working on that for over a year right now for a few future projects. And it will take at least another year before we can even think about going live.
So one last question for you, sir, is what's your favorite band when it comes to rock music?
Rock music. This is really hard. It depends on when you ask me. That's for sure.
The mood, yeah.
Okay, let me because I'm having a hard time. Let me check my Google Music account to see what I listened to recently.
There you go. While you're looking that up, tell us what you think about your Crypto Man XRP socks.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I love them. I actually wear them. I have the Ripple logo version and the XRP version.
Yep.
So nice, I wear the Ripple version when I talk to consultants or regulators, mm-hmm. and I wear the XRP one to work or.
That's what you call wearing two hats. I love it. I love it.
It's perfect.
What I listen to really. Okay, so it's not really rock what I listened to recently.
Okay, so let me put it this way: if you're in a excited mood, right? You're pumped up about something. What music? What band would you listen to?
Cool new feature for XRPTipBot.
Yeah,
what's playing in your head?
Highway to Hell, definitely.
There we go.
Highway to Hell, right? There you go. There you go.
Nice. Too bad I can't secure the licensing to play that on the outro.
I know, right? This has been an amazing podcast. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. We really appreciate your time and all your works that you do for the crypto space and XRP as well. So thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
It's been a great time, man. It was good talking to you. Thanks for kind of enlightening us on little more of the depth of XRP, and we're really excited to maybe set up a round 2 here at some point.
Yeah, we really needed another hour to get through everything that we wanted to cover when it comes to XRP. But you know what? There's always a round 2. So thank you so much again.
Okay, thank you guys.
You have a good one, man.
Okay,
we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
That was fun. There's something special about that guy. You know,
yeah,
he's got so much passion and so much talent, and usually it seems like a lot of people have one or the other. You know, they've got, maybe I shouldn't put it that way. It seems like a lot of people have a lot of passion and a lot of talent, but either don't have the ambition to make some of the things that they really want to, or don't have the support they need to make it happen. And he's, I
think a lot of it's the support.
I think that's the biggest thing, you know, and he's managed to find the support he needs in the XRP community and make some amazing things. And he puts a lot of effort into everything he builds. And it's really cool to see some of the things that come out of his head when he's done.
You know, and it's just a proven fact. If you give somebody an opportunity, and if you give somebody a chance to shine with what they can do, with what they are good at, everybody has talent. It's just having that support and having that push, or having that, you know, ability to be able to utilize that talent is what the key is, I think. You know, there's people out there that could just probably thrive like crazy with art and be a fantastic artist. You know, they have that passion, they have that gift, but without the ability to hone that gift, to hone that skill because of finances or whatever the case may be, I think is where a lot of people in society actually suffer, you know?
That's true. I mean, when you're working 8 hours a day and, you know, you've got a half hour or an hour worth of driving time surrounding that, and, you know, family time afterwards, there's not a lot of time in anybody's life to pursue those passions. So it's really cool to see people that have actually been able to make that happen. And I really like what they're doing with the XRP Community Fund, trying to enable some of those people that have that difficulty to achieve what they really want to.
Right. I mean, and it's kind of like, let's use you, for example. You've had a lyrical genius wrapped up inside of you for the last how many years? And now all of a sudden it's pop, right? It's just flying out and you're oozing it. It's amazing.
I'm having a good time. I do miss writing. I mean, like I say, I've been back in high school. It was like, I had some weird obsession with writing poetry, and I really loved it. And then I just stopped. I got wrapped up in everything else I was doing. And, you know, a lot of it was just trying to make money, try to get through college and trying to get by. And, you know, now that I am where I am today, and you've kind of reignited that fire with the rap battles, you know, it's coming out, and I'm having a good time with it. It's amazing.
Oh, we are. We're definitely having a blast with this. I'm loving it. I mean, dude, seriously, it's kind of like, you know, looking back on my life, you know, I've always been a carpenter, and my goal was to excel at my trade and be the best at my craft, right? And now, since I've been into crypto, I never thought I'd be doing a podcast with some guy from Montana. I never thought I'd be hosting come on, a rap battle on Friday nights.
No, there's no way.
I'm gonna do this.
I feel the same way. Like, none of this stuff is anything I ever would have guessed that I'd be doing today.
No, and it just flows. I'm serious, and it's crazy the compliments and the fun that we have doing it. Anyways, enough of that. Thanks for listening today. You know, we really enjoyed this podcast. We hope you do too. We really enjoy the positive feedback we're seeing all over on Twitter now, and it's very heartwarming to see the comments, and, you know, to have people enjoy what we're doing. And real quick, one big shout out to Euclid and Tamara.
Oh yeah, your new show.
Oh, it's gonna be hot, man. It is gonna be hot. Kudos to you two. Looking forward to hearing more from that, because that's something I could get into there. Just chilling out, listening to Yuki and Tamara. Oh my God, big time.
They're pretty much amazing, to say the least.
They are. Yeah. Good times, and thank you again for all of your support. We do this for you, the community. We hope you enjoy it.
It means so much to us, guys, to see what you have to say about it. Make sure to go to iTunes, look up Crypto Campfire, subscribe, and rate us. Pretty please.
And YouTube too, because we're going to start really doing these live ones. That was fun. We're going to definitely start doing these live streams.
We started an Instagram.
Yep,
we don't know what we're doing, but we started an Instagram.
Yep.
All right.
Right on.
Good
We'll
one.
talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Take it easy.
Peace.